Okay? Then the next important section to address is the market analysis. And here what you want to be addressing is really getting further into who's buying the product and who's using the product. It's the customer user profiles. You want to be addressing what the demographics are, meaning how many people are there, how rich are they, how much money do they have, what are their budgets like, where are they located, what's the segmentation of these different customers and users, how do they behave. The graph I have up there is just a pie chart with a market segmentation. This particular market segmentation I just pulled off the internet, and it's supposed to be for how grandparents in the UK look at their grandchildren. You've got traditionalists, quiet reminiscers, racy role models, I don't know what that means, hearts of gold, adventure seekers, etc. But this is a segmentation about how they behave. I don't actually even know what product is trying to be sold to them, but just understanding the segmentation will help you understand how you can sell your product to this demographic.
All your slides on the web?
These slides will be available on the web, yeah.
Today.
And then Eric can share. Eric, maybe you can you tell them where is the slides going to be?
They'll be in two places: the business plan competition website, excuse me, bpc.umd.edu, and MTech's website, mtech.umd.edu. They'll be available in both places today.
Okay. So understanding how your customers and users behave will go a long way towards helping you understand how to sell to them. And then the point of sale. So who actually makes the decision? So you may identify a certain company. Maybe you say, Fortune 1000 companies are my potential customer. And that's your market segmentation. But you also have to even go further and understand who the point of sale is. Who makes the actual decision? Whether that's the IT guy, whether it's the business guy, whether it's certain division head, things like that. Now this is probably more information that than you're going to be able to put into most executive summaries. But if this is an important part of telling your story, you want to address this in the executive summary. Not all executive summaries for all business ideas are going to require this kind of granularity, but a lot of them will. Now, market size and growth, this is actually something every business plan, every executive summary has to address. And that is, how big is the market, the addressable market for what you're doing, and how fast is it growing? Okay, and these are different things. The addressable market is, you can say that you're in the software, you're developing a software product, and the software market is, I don't know how many billion, hundreds of billions of dollars or trillions of dollars a year. But you're not addressing that entire market. You're just addressing a niche, a segment of that market. So you need to be able to address what the size of that market is. If you are doing an enterprise software solution, or you're doing software for consumers, music listeners, or whatever, you have to understand how big that market is. Okay? And then not only that, but how fast is it growing? So is it something that's going to be static? Does it have 5% growth a year? Is it 100% growth a year? Those are really important things to be able to identify in your executive summary. And then finally, last point there is what the market entry strategy is. What are the different channels for getting to those people who make the decisions about whether or not to purchase your product, or getting in front of the users, or finding those advertisers, right? How do you actually get from A to B? Okay. Any questions on the market analysis? Competitive advantage.
There are certain sources where you can go.
Yeah, actually.
I mean, you have to put some of those links there, the IDC and other places like that.
Yeah, we actually had a talk 2 weeks ago
see.
given by Dean Chang, where he talked about how to do that kind of
okay.
market research. So, and those slides are also on the web and in the same places that Eric just mentioned. Okay. Next thing you want to do is talk about competitive advantage. And first part of this is to provide a competitive landscape. And my first point there is, yes, you do have competition. It's very common to hear first-time entrepreneurs say, I have no competition. What I have is absolutely unique. Nobody can compete with me. That's a total red flag, because that's never, ever true. Even if you do have a very unique niche, or you have a unique product, there's always going to be some kind of competition, and maybe not the direct competition where you can compare apples to apples, but you're going to be substituting for somebody else. You're going to be trying to displace someone else. So if you've got a completely new software application, for example, that you're trying to get a company to use, and it's a function that they're not doing already, they may be using Excel spreadsheets. They may be they may be doing nothing, but it's still inertia that you have to compete against to try to get them out of the way they do things normally. So you do need to talk about what the competition is, and you need to present it in a way that the readers can understand. I've got two graphics up here on the slide that are kind of typical ways that you might present what the competitive landscape looks like. On the top one there is something called the magic quadrant, where if you've got a product that can be really differentiated on two axes, faster or cheaper, right, on the two axes, that's one way of quickly presenting what the competition looks like, on that axis, and hopefully yours is in the upper right quadrant. You're faster and you're cheaper, or however you're doing it. The second one is just a comparison matrix showing the companies and different advantages or disadvantages that your company has or that other companies may have, and hopefully yours is the one that has all of the check boxes filled in. But that's not necessarily the goal here. The goal is to really show the reader that you understand the competition, that you understand what the risks are, and that you have a way of dealing with that. It's not just to show that you have all the check boxes checked off and that you're the best in the world and there's no problems, but present a realistic view of what the competitive landscape looks like and how you fit into it. Okay. And that's where you're explaining. That's why I'm saying here you have to explain why you're better, but credibly. Okay. You can't just make all these wild claims without having some backing for it. Because once you lose credibility, then that's it. The reader's not going to want to continue to read your business plan in the next round. They're just going to say, I don't believe what this guy's saying. I don't think he understands what the market's about. I don't think he can credibly compete with Microsoft or whoever the competition is out there.